An interesting fact, during activities of daily living, which includes things like sleeping, standing, or walking, fat is the body's preferred energy source because it is the most concentrated, providing 9 calories per gram. Carbohydrates and protein each contain 4 calories per gram in comparison, which brings me to today's topic. There are many times when a business might experience disruptions that can significantly impact operations. I'm going to discuss 5 adverse events that my business incurred. And at the end of this broadcast, I'm also going to provide you with 3 strategies I use to survive in business for more than 20 years. Welcome to Leonard Innovation. My name is Justin Leonard. Thank you for tuning in. Before I talk about how my business was significantly disrupted, I want to bring to your attention my 90-day online launch guide, which contains a list of actionable steps you can take to launch an online business. In the guide, I cover what to sell if you have limited time and financial resources, ideas for how to make money online, how to build an audience when you're new, and recommended software and services to run your business. By the way, everything is free, and you can access the guide right now at leonardinnovation.com/launch. Here now are 5 significant events that disrupted my business. Number 1, I had a fairly large email list that became useless overnight. My business was launched in 1998. Very quickly, my email list grew to more than 30,000 members. The quality of an email list can depreciate with time because people change jobs, change emails, or other reasons. This results in bounce backs. So what is a bounce back? Well, when an email is sent to multiple recipients, if the email addresses are legitimate, they typically shouldn't get rejected. If they get rejected or return undeliverable, we call that a bounce back. The internet service and email providers interpret too many bounce backs as potentially a bot-driven email list. So in 2003, the Canned Spam Act was implemented, which formally imposed rules and regulations to curb spam. And to be safe, we pretty much had to stop sending emails to our 30,000 plus subscribers. Number 2, around 2011, the Google Panda algorithm was introduced. Before Panda, one of the earlier ways to grow a brand was to create duplicate websites. So you would use a different name for each, but the website content would be exactly the same. Maybe you would vary the colors and the look of the website, but long story short, the Google Panda algorithm made it so that duplicate websites would be suppressed. To Google, duplicate content had the appearance of being bot-driven. Almost any logical domain name centered around abdominal training, for example, I still own it today. absecrets.com, absworkout.com, abdominaltips.com. I own all of them, but I had to take most of them offline because they were essentially the same duplicate content. Number 3, in 2015, Google again put websites on notice to go mobile friendly, and they would give better ranking to websites that were in compliance. At the time, mobile user data suggested that within a few years, most internet searches would be performed via mobile devices versus on desktop computers. This, of course, was great for the mobile users, but bad for webmasters because it meant we would have to spend more money to update our technology. Luckily, by this time, we had a significant level of repeat business, so we were able to drag our feet a little bit, but eventually we had to spend more money to get the website updated. Number 4, in 2017, we had a major supplier decide to sell their company. When this happens, a new owner can opt to keep certain relationships and protocols in place, or they can go in a different direction. The new owners, not surprisingly, chose the latter. They didn't recognize some of the preferential arrangements we had in place with the original owners. So this was a major disruption because it affected hundreds of thousands in annual revenue. We did have backup suppliers, but certain terms and dealer pricing didn't compare to what we originally had in place. Number 5, In 2020, we had the pandemic. Technically, as an exercise equipment retailer, it was initially a benefit to the business. With bars, gyms, and even many restaurants closed, we sold roughly 3 months worth of inventory within 3 weeks. But over time, the pandemic created issues like supply delays and shortages. In fact, many of our suppliers went out of business. So we were impacted in ways that were difficult to predict. One interesting thing that caused a disruption in my business, certain products only sell at specific times of year. And if you miss those critical sales windows, it could translate to hundreds of thousands in losses. And there it is, the stories of 5 adverse events that my business incurred. Ultimately, since 1998, I managed to survive all of the major disruptions. The following are 3 strategies that helped me over the years. The first is that I always had a contingency plan, but no matter how strong your contingency plan is, realistically, it's not possible to see everything coming that can significantly disrupt or even put you out of business. A good business owner should probably be a bit of a pessimist before they are an optimist. So ask yourself, if this service or if this relationship goes away, what is the backup plan? The second is I always look to repurpose or get more utility from my core businesses. If you create exercise videos, for example, can you turn that into an app for personal trainers? Can you sell posters or DVDs? Can you spin off a website that sells the exercise equipment featured in the videos? The third strategy is to prioritize asset accumulation. Over time, I was able to accumulate enough assets to where even our warehouse is paid off. Rent is usually a company's greatest expense, but I found a way to eliminate it. So even if I were to lose everything, there are a number of both tangible and intangible assets that can always be liquidated. Lastly, if you enjoyed this presentation, the next one will be even better. Once again, you can check out my free 90-day online launch guide at leonardinnovation.com/launch. And if you found this information helpful, please share it with a friend. Thanks again for tuning in.